Hi, I'm Andrew Mackenzie Gopsel. I'm a weed scientist with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada here at the Charlottetown Research and Development Centre. And we're out here in some of our corn work in our corn intercropping trial. So here we're again trying to look at different ways that we can incorporate cover crops, this time into silage corn production. And so we are seeding our cover crops either with our corn at the same time, which you can see here, or we're also seeding the cover crops at the V6, where we're just broadcasting over top. Now there is a challenge with broadcasting cover crops into a standing crop, and that's you oftentimes have to up your seeding rate due to poor establishment. So we are adding a cultivation in so that we can try to increase seed soil contact and get better establishment with our cover crops. Then we have a couple of comparisons or controls where we have either just a cultivate only control, which you can see here on my left, as well as we have other plots where we broadcast a herbicide over top to provide weed control. But the main goals of this project are to see if we can, one, suppress weeds with our cover crops and again get away from using herbicides for weed management in silage corn, as well as to provide various other agri-ecosystem services. So things like soil cover, potentially some nitrogen capture and transfer to our corn, particularly from like our legume here, which we have sweet or blossom yellow sweet clover. Or provide some soil cover after harvest, because silage corn is one of the crops that tends to provide very minimal residue at harvest. So this project is a large multidisciplinary project where we've got a whole bunch of different colleagues and collaborators on it. So myself studying the weed management aspect of it, but we also have our pathologists looking at diseases, as well as our entomologists looking at insects. And so they're all sampling throughout this trial throughout the year, as well as we have this replicated in Fredericton, where we have a grad student looking at trying to look at the roots and see if we're actually seeing some nitrogen transfer between our cover crops and our corn. This is the first year of this experiment, but we had a look and see experiment last year where we were trying to just test out a whole range of different cover crops, which then resulted in us choosing either the yellow blossom sweet clover or annual ryegrass. And we found that most of our cover crops, in particular the ones we chose here, we were able to get the same amount of silage corn yield as we were compared to our no cover crop control. So again, that's really all we're trying to do is, can we incorporate cover crops and get the same amount of yield out of our crops as if we didn't have that cover crop? And that cover crop's just going to be there to reduce our input use and provide various agri-ecosystem services to our growing silage corn.